get fired.
Welcome to a new episode of Let's Get Fired. I'm your host, Drew Simon. I am joined by my co-host, Clayton Palmquist.
What's up?
And today we are joined by local Utah stand-up comedian, Oz
Legend.
Morris. How are you doing, Oz?
Doing great. Clay, I love the gold chain. You know, I want to get one too, but I'm not really Hispanic or an Eastern European nightclub owner, but you seem to pull it off pretty well.
Thanks, man.
Dude, you
I
just got
appreciate it.
roasted.
Dude, that hurt, man.
I wish I had a machine gun fire sound effect. Hell yeah. Well, I'm excited to have you back on. I had you on once before, but I will say
Too much applaud.
things have changed since
Yes.
last time you were here.
Sure.
We didn't have this podcast space.
Right.
We didn't have, the microphones or the video component, and we didn't really have people listening to it. So,
So my job was safe.
yeah.
For then.
So those things have all changed. So we might ask repeat questions. Some of them are brand new questions.
Sure.
So just answer them as if you've never been on before.
You got it.
And yeah, because I think most of the people listening, this is their first time meeting you.
Well, good to meet you all. Please, hopefully I'm great. Okay.
Well, we'll see. Well, let's just jump right into it. So let's get fired. Oz, what was your first job ever?
First job ever was a cashier at a junior college. I was a 16-year-old scrawny kid, and I had to be the one to check out all the boys and the girls who went there. I mean, well, then they actually had to pay for the food once I checked them out. But
So you
yeah.
checked out the fellas, hey?
yeah,
Just
financially
checking out
speaking.
dudes.
But for the ladies, some of them I did both. Yeah, so. But yeah, so I did that. I was so I'd stand there and I would do
What college?
It was called Diablo Valley College in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forget you're from California?
Yeah, that's right. That's
What
right.
part?
Bay Area.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Not really. That explains it, perhaps. Wait, hold on. So how old were you when you moved to Utah?
I moved to Utah after I got when I got married. Actually, that's not true. It was 2006 when I came here for school,
Uh-huh.
and then I met who I thought was a Mexican foreign exchange student. I met this woman, and then I opened up a conversation with her. Fifth guy at the pool to hit on her that day, but the funniest. And then after that, she wanted to marry me. So we tied the knot in December, and then I stayed here in Utah to go to BYU. I never ended up doing it, and I just
You
went-
didn't go to BYU?
I did go to some. I did do summer school at BYU,
Okay.
but never got fully admitted in. And then we just kind of stayed. We stayed around the proximity, so I could go. And I ended up just
Did you get your degree?
no.
Really?
Yeah, I dropped out of
Oh.
high school. I got my GED, and I have a 2-year degree from Provo College.
Really? High
Yeah.
school dropout. I never would have pegged you for a high school dropout.
Well, thanks. That means I'm really smart then.
Yeah. Wow. Clayton graduated high school. And
Yeah, that's true. How does that make you feel?
what's the funniest thing is,
I dropped out
Yeah.
of community college, though.
Oh, really?
the craziest thing is on graduation day, a bunch of people approached Clayton and said, "Oh my gosh, Clayton, you're here."
Yeah, I didn't really go to school senior year very much.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
So
Dude,
get
I-
this. This is how sad. This is kind of sad and pathetic. I dropped out of high school in when I was sophomore year of high school, and then I saw all the fun my friends were having, and I was just wasting time doing nothing, taking classes at that junior college.
Mhm.
And I was like, I want to go back for all the fun activities. So my dad negotiated me to go back for my senior year without any hope of graduation, just so I could be there for the activities. And I went the whole year. And so I got to go to grad night, prom, all of that. Didn't mean a dang thing in my curriculum, or curriculars. So it,
So you
It's kinda
just got
sad.
to like mess around then.
yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, that's better even.
Well,
Dude,
nice.
that was good. I did it the worst. I took high school very seriously.
Oh yeah,
My senior year, I was like all AP classes,
right.
and I was just
Oh,
like
wow.
killing myself.
Jeez.
And then I didn't graduate from college.
But when I look at you taking IAP classes, you're not a person I would think would take AP classes. I don't know if it's
Burn. Fuck you,
Dude, I
Drew.
just got lit up.
but that's amazing. Like that's really cool. It's like, wow, sometimes I forget that you're smart, you know?
Oh, thank you. No, the once upon a time I really liked school.
Yeah.
I didn't start hating school until college.
I see. Really?
Yeah.
See, when I did a visiting term at BYU after high school, and it was so much fun. That's where I had my first kiss, and then I learned how to do NICMO, and like so I did. I made
Is that where you put it in but you don't move around?
No,
I'm just kidding.
that's soaking. That was after my time. I just learned, like, some guys taught me how to go in to kiss a girl, and I was like, learn all the moves. And once I was able to unlock that, like, like that thing, it's like, oh, this is how you do it. Once I was able to figure that out, then I was like, man, I was off to the races. Like,
Was it like a Will Smith like character who taught you how to do it?
I wish. No, I don't know how. Actually, it was a girl. A girl taught me, how to do, like, how to kiss, like how to go in for a kiss. I don't, the whole thing about the approach. Like, I don't want to make my head go in and make it look all weird. And she taught me how to do it really smoothly. And then I was like, once she taught me, after that, I went up. I was like month after month, I was like kissing girls. And then when I got to, like, this is really stupid, but I got to like 9 kisses. I didn't want to get to 10 before my mission, because I was like, if I meet my wife, she'll like, how many girls did you kiss? And if I say it's at more than 10, she'll be like, I don't want to be with you. But I'm like, well, it was less than 10. Then she'll be like, okay, that's an acceptable number.
So
like,
was your wife lucky number 10 then?
No. I don't know if you want to know the exact number that she was, because after my mission, that was another number entirely. But yeah.
Dude, hell yeah. Fucking crushing it, dude. Dude, oh man. I feel like both of you guys would have done okay, man, if you hadn't been Mormon.
It's true. But my point, sorry, going back, college was awesome. College was so much fun. I didn't take as many hard classes, so maybe I didn't feel your pain, but man, college was like, you could just walk over. I didn't have to have a car to pick up a girl in it. I just walk over to her dorm, and I was like, hey, you just take out the middleman of the car. This is great.
Yeah, that was nice. I did like the social aspect of
Yeah.
college. Just the classes were hell. So what is the worst job you've ever had?
Ooh, there is a lot. That's a big number. I think I told this last time on the podcast, or it's the first time. Trying to sell cotton candy at a football game. One day, I lasted one day. I had to wear a gigantic, oversized pink shirt, and it was a humiliating thing. 'Cause other girls who like used to have a thing for me, or they did have a thing for me before they saw me in the pink shirt, and they saw me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm engaged. I need to make money, Like it was either that or prostitution. I was like, well, let's go with the cotton candy.
Those were the only options: cotton candy selling or prostitution.
No, but I don't know. It's just like, that's what it was. But I had another job after I got married. I did installed insulation. I did, it was terrible, awful thing. I was not that good at it, and I was slow. And so that was a bad job. The cotton candy selling one was, I installed siding at BYU Idaho. Like, I worked for a construction company up there, and was not good at that as well. So not the best.
Crazy.
Have you ever stolen from a job?
I want to know. I mean, I get like a few HDMI cable. I work in IT, so I will get a few HDMI cables here and there.
And you kept them?
Yeah, you don't need them. You're like, okay, but it's like you get them stuck in there. But no, like, I'm not willfully like, oh, I'm gonna steal this laptop from my job. No, I didn't do that. I had a laptop on my last job I really wanted to keep, but I had to send it in.
Have you ever done a NICMO with a coworker?
No. So I
like
never
how
had
you catered that question for Oz.
Yeah. No, all my NICMOs were in college, and didn't have it. Oh, I used to sell kids shoes, and so I don't know why that's so funny.
You look like a salesman for children's shoes.
Dude, just because like you're talking about making out with ladies and I sold children's shoes.
Okay, so I'll tell you where this is going. So, and I'm still thinking about this years later. So they had this manager's manager show up, and this is this really young, attractive woman, and we had chemistry. We were joking around and stuff, and she asked me to do something. I said, I'll do that if you say this about me, how cute I am, or something like that. She's like, forget it, and she was hilarious. And I thought we really had something, and then they started not putting me on the schedule after that, and so that's kind of. That would be my chance of a NICMO with a coworker, but apparently it was more of a okay, not a willful. I guess she just didn't want it, so she's like, let's not have him work here anymore. I don't know why that was Eastern European, but yeah, she was just like, yeah, so let's take him off the schedule. So I stopped working at a kid's shoe store.
Crazy. So who's the most annoying coworker you ever worked with?
Ooh, that's okay. So at my last job, we had this guy. His name was Angelo. He's from Canada, and he would send us messages on Slack that were like in the middle of a sentence that didn't make any sense whatsoever. And he's like, yeah, that's when the doctor said my rash was getting really bad. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, where did this even come from? Like, Angelo, start a whole sentence first before you get to the middle of it. And so he would do it, and he just did that all the time. And it was the most random thing, and it annoyed the heck out of all of us on the team. And then finally, after like 2 years, he got laid off. And then we're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that was it. That was
Angelo.
yeah. And then let's see here. If I can think of any other ones off the top of my head. Annoying coworkers. Yeah. So I had this.
What was Angelo's ethnicity?
I'm guessing French, but
Likely story.
no. So I worked at this other company. I won't say the name, but we had this woman who had this really shrill voice. She used to do day trainings for inspirational stuff. And my parents took her class, and they were like, geez, her voice is shrill. She's one of those people who thought if she talks with a loud, shrill voice, that's like public speaking. So she'd be like, all right, here we go, everybody. Let's go ahead and get out there. Okay, everyone put, pencils down. And it was just like, my parents both got migraines at the end of the day from this thing. So this person. So yeah. And she didn't like it when I changed her wallpaper, because she had an old wallpaper, and I was like, I have a better version of that wallpaper, and I put it, and she didn't like that. So that was another really annoying one. Oh, and then on the same job, we had this other girl who was very, very sorry, you're opening the Pandora's box here, but she was I was playing Call of Duty with like these other guys, and she kept on asking me questions about this one error and it was after my shift. So she shouldn't have been bothering me. And she kept on saying, so I'm getting this error and I'm getting this. And I'm like, you could ignore it. And she just wouldn't let up about it. And yeah, she was really annoying.
Man. Bitches, man.
Yeah, dude, bitches indeed.
They shouldn't be in the workplace.
That's not what I meant at all.
Well, I mean, we could feel what you're throwing out there. We'll just
That's
fill
okay,
in-
brother.
We'll just
We're
fill
all
in
on the same team here.
Yeah, dude, we'll just fill in the gaps for you.
No. I support women in tech fully.
So, tell me about the worst boss you've ever had.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a little bit tough, because each boss was a little bit different in their own way. Some of them I really liked. I didn't have like before. Let's see here. Okay, so I worked at a Dell call center. Oh, I had a boss. He was not too bad, but they didn't really care if you got paid. Like, they never gave any raises ever. So that was it. But it's like, he wasn't just he wasn't like a terrible person. But later on, I found out he was a massive drug addict. So I'm like, oh, that's where all the money's going. No, I don't know. But and then I don't know. Like, I've had several. I've been very blessed to have a lot of good bosses. I worked for one person. I don't want to say the name, but for like a long time, like the longest I've ever worked for anyone. And he's one of those guys that's like, he has to win at everything, and they need drama. Like, he would like to make it like as if you were like, when you disappointed him, like he was disappointed in you as his son. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, okay, thanks, bye. And the drama, oh my gosh, the nights of like anxiety that I would share with my wife. Like, is he mad at me? What did I do wrong? What's going on? Yeah, not a big fan. Keep the drama off the workplace, and you're good. Just like, let's get it going. Did you mess up on that? Do better at that. Boom, let's go.
Okay. What's the worst case of time theft that you've ever committed?
Well, one time after a medical procedure, I think it was a hysterectomy. No, I'm kidding. I think it was I had a appendicitis, and I had to take this medication. So, and I was working. My, that boss was really kind of driving like, you got to keep working. You want to show him how hard of a worker you are. So I was working on someone's computer, and I was on this medication, and I was on front of their server working on it, and I kept on falling asleep. So I just said, I got to go in my car and check something for a little bit. I'll be back. And then I think I went and slept for like 2 hours.
A 2-hour nap.
Oh wow, dude.
Wow. Is that your current job?
No.
Okay.
I
Did you get fired there?
No.
Okay. You got away with it.
Yeah, like, I mean, they don't know, but it's like, I mean, it's like, it was just, it was medically procedure. So I think I even told them like, hey, I just had a medical procedure. And so I think they were really understanding, or nobody was really watching. But other than that, it was like, okay, yeah, safe.
Nice.
Right.
What's your favorite job you've ever had?
Probably the one I have now. I think it's not perfect, but I like the culture a lot. It's really, really, it's,
And don't tell us where you work, but what is the thing you kind of do at your job?
I do support for a product, and I the work is challenging, but the culture around it is terrific. So it's like, hey, like, we love, like, if you have something with your family, like they say, to hell with what you're doing, go take care of your family. Like, I've never had a job like that. It's always like, keep your vacations short, and show how like be the first to clock in, the last to clock out. Show how committed you are to not get paid any raise anytime soon, or if it is, it's like 1.2%, and you're just like, what am I sacrificing for? How many nights am I missing out on for my daughter, my wife? How many nights am I missing out to like show you how good of a worker I am? On that last job, I seriously, one day I came in on a Friday at 7 a.m. and then I didn't leave till 7 a.m. the next day. Like, that was commitment. And he's like, in a couple of years, like, maybe we'll give you a raise in a little bit. It's like what kind of crap is that? Sorry, I'm going off.
Oh, no
You're
worries,
good, dude.
So, if you could wipe one country off the face of the map with a nuke, which country would it be?
Oof. Well, I love people of all countries and ethnicities. Thank you. And I would say, I mean, South Africa, I love Trevor Noah a lot. And he's like one of the best comedians of all time. But South Africa has the top, it's like the rape capital of the world and the car theft capital of the world. So that's what I said last time. But now I'm thinking kind of like not Afghanistan. I was thinking Saudi Arabia or Iran, mainly because what they're doing to the women over there. Like, women are gorgeous over there. Like,
But
don't cover them
Real
up.
good cover.
the women will die too, though, if you nuke them.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, we should put them out of their misery.
like, well, at least you're getting rid of the mad patriarchy over there. Like,
Yeah. No, it's you have to wear a trash bag all day. Your husband comes home like wearing pajamas and
Yeah.
sandals, and
And you
like,
don't even have a clitoris, so you can't even enjoy sex.
they do cut those off.
oh yeah, they do
Yeah.
female
What?
circumcision.
Holy crap! They had a fashion show over. I think it was in Saudi Arabia. They had a female fashion show over there. But because they don't allow women to showcase it off, they had drones basically carrying the clothes through the air like Dementors from Harry Potter. Like,
Oh, dude,
how messed up is that?
I thought you were
I
going to
like
say
it.
they had men wear the clothes.
Oh.
And then they threw those men off of a rooftop for being gay.
Yeah.
So which one, Saudi Arabia or Iran?
Probably like, if I could just take out the leadership of Saudi Arabia and then put it in with a good leadership, that would be what I'd like to do. But yeah, let's go Iran. No, actually, let's go Saudi Arabia. They have way too much power.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Because they killed that journalist a couple years ago because he was speaking out against the leader there, and we in America all have to kiss his big keister.
I don't know. My only problem with that, Saudi Arabia is waging a genocide in Yemen right now,
Uh-huh.
and I really like that.
Why?
So-
Yeah.
That would really throw a wrench in things if Saudi Arabians stopped killing all those babies in Yemen.
Why would that? What? Oh, that doesn't
Well,
make any sense.
Well, no, we're just with you. We agree that
We
they're
agree.
they're bad people and
Sure.
they need to be.
But no
you know?
place is all bad, like the genocide. So,
Okay, sure. Jesus
I have
Christ.
chased the waste, man.
all
I was
right.
trying to go along with it.
Yeah. I
So-
appreciate you trying to save it, Clay. I saw that, but then he's like, "Nope, let's keep going, double downing into the genocide."
All right. Well, next question here. Have you ever sexually assaulted a coworker?
I have no. I mean, I don't think any like Tanner said in this previous. I don't think you're going to get yes to anyone.
Eventually, we will.
Someone will.
I did one time a girl. Okay, so this is a story. This is a girl. She's very litigious, very horrible person. She wrote complaints about every single person. She was saying, we were talking about, and I just had a surgery. So she said, "Oh, when I had my surgery, I could only eat this and this and this." And I said, "What kind of surgery did you have?" And then she said, "I got my boobs enhanced." And I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to pry." She complained to HR that I asked her if she got her boobs enhanced. And I'm like, "No, I just said what kind of surgery you have." So that's as far as that went. But yeah,
Is enhanced the word she used?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think I blocked it out of my memory.
Yeah, a lot of times people do that with their. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Yeah, so she liked to come into the office with low cut shirts all the time, and if you said one wrong thing, HR complaint, and you're just like, and it wasn't
Yeah.
just me. She complained about a bunch
No,
of
dude.
other
I
guys.
hate it when whores do that.
I wouldn't say that, but I met her. I
You
saw her
only
at the,
think it.
I saw her at the gym a year or after she left, and we started at the gym, and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing now?" She's like, "I work in HR." I'm like, "Oh, so you work for the evil side of the company, huh?" And she got really offended, like, "No, they're not the evil side of the company." I wish I would have said like, "Oh, now you can just take out the middleman and go and just drop the complaints yourself," but I didn't think about that till a year later.
Is that your current company?
No, that was jobs ago. That was the one I was at for a while.
Okay. Do you ever get murderous thoughts at work?
No. I don't really get murderous thoughts per se. I don't know. I would say no. I don't get murderous thoughts.
No, you never like see someone who annoys you and just like think about slamming their face into the keyboard, make them.
No, surprisingly, I know. Thankfully, we don't have where I work. They have a strict no a-hole policy, so we have a lot of good people at the place. Thankfully, so
I feel like that's impossible to vet.
they do a really good job. It's a really high bar, so they're like, "Yep." So most of the people I work with are pretty great.
Would they hire me?
Probably not after that genocide joke, but yeah. Other than that,
It wasn't a joke.
God damn it, true.
good golly.
Have you ever stolen food from the break room?
Oh, it was all free. Like any break rooms we had. I had this one place that I worked at. Man, I would put a bowl in and I would stack in so many things: chocolate covered walnuts, the fruit snacks, the Swedish fish, and I'd put these little bars on top. I would make a whole entire like house of cards of delicious fatty foods that I'd bring to my desk. Now I'm wondering when did I got fat? And I'm like, oh, that's probably, now I'm just, as I'm saying that, that's when I'm realizing where my belly came from. Just constant day in, day out of picking those big fat snack bowls. But yeah, they were, they didn't
Yeah,
mind.
man. Us fat dudes, we have to stick together.
I said that. I complained about being fat to Tanner once, and he was like, "Shut the F up right now." And I was like, What? I will tell you this though. Because I got a little bit more, a little more of a spare tire around the midsection, I have a lot more respect for how these fat guys can put their shoes on. Like,
Dude, oh man, I tell you what, man, that is one thing that's been really positive so far about not drinking, man. That was a real thing for me for a while,
Really?
man.
you're like breathing and sucking in air like a dying fish, like after putting just your laces, like, all right, double knotted.
No matter how fat I've ever been, I've never had that problem. That's
I guess if you're able to move your belly out of the way, but I look at some of these comics and I'm like, man, how did he put those shoes on? I'm not going to say any names because I have respect for
I
them.
know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Dennis,
No.
JD, Tanner, Clint Holt.
I refuse to confirm or deny which one's out of that list. But yeah, they how they do it's amazing. Mad respect.
Have you ever like lost your temper at your boss and yelled at them?
Ooh, I've never ever yelled. I did at one of my last jobs. My boss was like, I was talking to my wife. My wife and I were having some really, really serious conversation on the phone about something, and my boss was like, You were on that phone call a little too long. You need to get back to your desk." And I just blew up at him. Was like, "Hey, dude, I don't even know if you understand. Like, we're almost my wife and I are almost on the verge of splitting up, and so like this doesn't mean anything compared to what you're going through." And he gave a really good, he's like, "No, it does. It really does." And he was really cool with it. And then he was like, "You want to take the day off to go spend some time with your wife? You can do that." But I was just like, dude, this is so like you're blowing up, and like I'm dealing with my relationship troubles, and you're bringing this in. And so, and he was really cool about it. So thankfully I've had some managers. I had one where I had stayed up till like 3 a.m. at a late night job. And he was like, "Why aren't you at your first appointment at 8 o'clock?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I needed a little more sleep. I don't want to crash the car and die."
Right.
And he goes, "Oh, no, it's no problem. I got up at 5 this morning. I was able to get my first appointment at 6. I'm like, "Yes, because you're a freaking robot, man. Like when you go to bed, you don't lay down. You just stand next to it and go, power down." And so, yeah, he was okay with that too, thankfully.
Nice. That was a lot more than I thought. I thought it was going to be a for sure no on that one.
I even changed it a little bit. The question is, have you ever cussed out your boss? I was like, yeah, there's no way.
I've
No
never
way
done
Oz
that.
would do that.
Well, have you ever quit a job like without putting in a 2 weeks notice besides the cotton candy gig?
Ooh, I can't. You know what? Okay, so I actually had this whole story ready, prepared. Is about so I worked at an insulation company, and I knew it was like that I was probably gonna get fired, and I was just like, so I went to this other installation company, their competitor, and I got a job there like right away, like because I was engaged at the time. I needed to prove to my wife that I was marriage material. And so if I didn't have a job, she would have left me. So I was really scared. So I'm like, I better get another job.
Right.
So they kind of like let me go. And then I joined this other job. And
Dude,
then,
your wife sounds needy. She needs to
oh
have a job.
no, she's good now. Like she's great. But back then she was scary. Like I was terrified. I'm like, if I don't get a job, she'll leave me. And like she had pressure for her parents, like, because they want to make sure that she's in a for sure thing. She's in she's from Brazil. She's from the richest country. Like she's living in the richest country. And then she's dating the poorest American that she could find. Like on our first date. Sorry, this is off the top.
That is what usually immigrants do.
Yeah. On our first date, I was so poor. I said, "Hey, is this a date or not? Because if it's not, I need you to pay for yourself." I actually said that. And she
Holy shit.
She loved my honesty so much that she's like, she paid for herself and it became a date through the night. She's like, "You were so honest. That was good." Anyways, going back to your question. So I went from first installation company is a company thankfully no longer exists. But I asked for them, like, I needed my last paycheck, and the guy, one of the bosses, was three bosses owned the place, and they were so like the guy wouldn't pay me my last paycheck, and he kept on. I was like, "Yeah, I didn't take any lunches. I just need my last paycheck." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to take lunches out because you should have took lunches." And he had the ugliest haircut of anyone I've ever seen. I just wanted to punch him so bad, and I blew up at him, yelled at him, and then I hung up. It's like whatever. But I tell you, I never fantasized. Like some people want to fantasize about going up and shooting up their workplace. I never fantasized more about wishing I had a rocket launcher to like not to hurt anyone. Make
I
sure
know what you mean.
everyone's out of the building safely, but to get a rocket launcher to blow up the building. Yeah.
But only management is in there.
No. And so like,
Oh,
yeah, he was just really, really awful. But I never, okay. So going back to your original question, I'm getting off topic with my ADHD, but I've never quit a job without notice, because I would always try to put in the notice. But sometimes if you're no longer working there, then they're like, yeah, you can just leave right now. We don't need your 2 weeks. But yeah, that's the one place that I was just like, I could. I saw that guy later on at a Best Buy with his son, and I'm just like, man, if your kid wasn't with you, I probably wouldn't do anything, but I still would like shake my fist at you. Okay.
Dude, I get that 100%. The last job that I got let go from, I don't care about it now, but for a long time I was like, man, if I see that guy on the street, I'm gonna just kind of yell and run away probably.
I love this. I see this guy.
That's fun. So when's the last time you've ever said the N-word?
Full disclosure, I probably was in Kentucky, And,
Hell yeah.
Oh, we were at
That is the place.
actually no, actually it was at Huntsville, Alabama. I was in it was space
Even
camp.
better.
It was in space camp, and people were doing doorbell ditching, and they called it knicker knocking, and I said it wrong, and somebody went and told one of the black chaperones that I
What?
said
There's
it.
no black people in space.
No. No, it was not. We weren't actually in space. It was Huntsville, Alabama. So it was a hotel, and they heard I said that, and I just said it wrong, and they heard I said that, and so they like went and told them. They went and knocked on the door like, this kid just said this. I'm like, I just, you could just say, hey, that you don't say that. But I went and apologized, and this lady let me have it, and I learned my lesson.
So you gotten scorned for saying it.
So
Yeah,
I can just see. How old were you?
I was like 13, maybe 12.
13-year-old Oz, and you just misunderstood. And so then some, like, I imagine portly middle-aged black lady just yelled at you for being racist.
That's yeah. I was like, I'm really sorry. I really apologize. I didn't mean anything by it. And she was just like, you better know that's not right, boy. Like, you better. She didn't really say boy. I don't remember what she said. It was so many languages. Like, you better. You need to know. Like,
Mhm.
what is? Yeah, that's it. But you better know. So I really learned. Like, I mean, I did get also beaten up from a kid.
You didn't
because
call
I-
any of the black kids boy.
No, never. And I was just, but I never said the N-word towards another kid, but I did say where they could be construed as racist, and he beat me up. He caught up to me later that day, and beat the heck out of me. So, he beat out any type of those racist words out of me. So,
So you're saying beating the shit out of people who say the N-word works?
I think so.
Oh man. Well, that's probably why I'm still the way I am.
But no, I started taking karate after that. Hillbilly kung fu. Like the first class was like, here's what to do if some guy's eyeballing your sister. No, I took a karate class, and it was I started taking karate and then got into it from there. But it was a really good thing, because like when we would watch like the Jeffersons, my the guy would say something, my mom was like, see, he can say that, you can't say that, okay, Oz? And I'm like, oh, thank you, I understand that now.
So this was like for months afterwards. You had people like, "Hey, it's a bad Oz."
I mean, like my mom would be like, "Yeah, you can't say that." You just learn the things. But I never repeated. Like I never ever repeated that.
So kind of on that same train of thought, who's your least favorite black person of all time? The lady from Space Camp?
No, she was fine. She was great. She was just censoring me. They have a hard way of doing it. But least favorite, I don't know. It could be that bully. It could be Cosby. I mean, I liked Cosby before the rapes. I know you probably like him afterwards, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm bummed they're not bringing him to Skank Fest.
They tried to.
Did
They were really trying to set that up, man.
What?
Yeah.
That would be
That's
fun.
crazy. That's insane. But yeah, I don't really look at. Oh, that's my least favorite. This person.
Well,
of
not
race.
not because.
Well, we're
they're
not saying
black,
that you've
just
thought
like
about it, but
Right.
we're just
No, I haven't.
a person.
Who is a person who happens to be black that you're like, you know what? That is probably my least favorite black person.
Nothing to do with them being black. Just they happen to be black.
What would
Yeah,
you say to
like-
my least favorite black person? Give me my least favorite person.
Who's your least favorite person that happens to be black?
I think that's it. I don't really have anyone specific other than guys who are in prison for doing stuff to women. I don't really have that per se. I don't have like, but yeah, I would say if you use somebody who has the platform to make a change, and then instead you're really doing horrible things. So either Michael Jackson doesn't count anymore. So I would say Cosby, because
Cosby.
yeah, because it's like he really could have made a huge difference. Like he had a whole legacy, and then he just like, but it's like the whole time he even talked about it. I was listening to the podcast with
Well, you know that he's out of jail because he's innocent.
he's not innocent, but so I was listening to the podcast with Sam Morril, Mark Morril, were there at the Just for Last podcast, and they talked about Bill Cosby. They said he bragged about it on Larry King, which is the ballsiest thing. He's like, yeah, you just slip the thing in the drink and the girl is yours. Hello, America. That's what he said. And people were just like, oh, that's so nice. Oh, whatever. We weren't looking for that stuff back then, but now we're like, what the heck?
Dude, it's funny. Just the culture's just changed a lot. It's funny. I remember. So I have an uncle who's like 10 years older than my dad, who's in his 60s. So my uncle's in his 70s, and I remember the three of us were all talking about Bill Cosby one time, and my uncle was like, such bullshit. He went to prison. He was just a player, man. And me and my dad looked at each other like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I think guys who were born in the 50s, man, they're like, yeah, you get a girl drunk and you can do it. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what they get for drinking.
That's insane. That's crazy. Sam Morril talks about on the podcast about how, well, he actually has an especially he talks about how he was accidentally roofied by another guy taking a drink from someone else who was meant for a girl. And so he was like an accidental hero in that sense, kind of like a drunk driver who run over a mugger, and the girl's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you, you saved my life." He's like, "I was just here in the wrong place. I probably have a problem, you know." But yeah, like that's insane. There's no shortcuts with women. You got to go through.
Well, there are shortcuts.
Steps.
They're just
illegal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Illegal.
Well, I don't know what's with the quotes. they are illegal.
They should. No, no, they shouldn't be. That's terrible. What's a conspiracy you believe in that a lot of people think is crazy?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I wish I would have had adequate prep for that. Conspiracy. Right. I don't know. I think the multiverse thing is true. Like, I think in like as good as someone is in this world, there's another world where they're as just as evil. And so maybe somebody who's like really good in this world is like a pure perverted, gross person in another world. And then someone who is just horribly evil, masochistic person in this world, maybe there's another world where, they were really, really good and they made a huge difference. They made a huge change. Maybe there's a world where Cosby was actually a non-rapist and he made a huge change with people, right? Maybe there's a world where
there's a place where Hitler was just really good.
Right. Well, it's like, and then I'm going to talk about. I'll talk about Hitler in a second because I just read something really cool this week. But it's about and it's
Mein Kampf.
No. But John Wayne Gacy. What if there was a world where he was not a homicidal clown, gay killer? What if he was actually like, a charitable person?
Like he was a straight guy.
What if he was straight?
At least then he could get into heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that he's going to hell for being gay.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Oh, that's hilarious. No, so I actually read something about, Charlie Chaplin in the 1940s. He came out with this movie. In 1940, exactly, came out with this movie called The Great Dictator. Mm-hmm. And he had a mustache just like Hitler. They were actually born within 3 days of each other. Wow. Like within 4 days of each other. And I read this thing. So he gave this speech in this movie because like in the movie, it was during the height of World War II. And in the speech, it's like, what if a fool like him switched places with Hitler and had to give a speech in front of TV. And the speech he gives is one of the most amazing, powerful speeches of all time, ever like recorded. And he's like, he starts off with like, I don't want to be an emperor. Like we should help each other. Human beings are like that. And I was like, and it's so interesting because like in a way, Charlie Chaplin and Hitler are like mirrors of each other, like a sad mirror. Like one is on the right, on the bright side, and the other's like
one was
the
Charlie
evil.
Chaplin.
Yeah. I knew that was coming, but like one is this unspeakable evil. And I'm just like, I read that and I'm like, that is crazy. Like think about that. Like one decided to go for humor and then one had his, like he decided to really go for his art and he did great with his art. And one failed out of art school and decided to do the Holocaust. Dude, it's like, it's insane. Like, yeah, don't crap on people's art. I don't know.
Speaking of the Holocaust, our next question is, how many people died in the Holocaust?
Over 6 million.
Over 6 million.
Yeah.
So not 5 million.
No, I'm pretty sure it's over 6 million. I'm pretty sure it's over 6 million. Like I could look it up, but I'm pretty sure. Why am I wrong?
No, that's a good answer.
Just we want to make sure people
want to make sure.
Why am I the person?
If it makes you feel better, we ask everyone that.
Well, just you and Dario.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So it seems like a lot of your problems at work have been with women.
Holy crap! I had one woman problem. What are you talking about?
So, what is the best reason for banning women in the workplace? You think?
Oh, come on, man! Don't give me that. Like, I actually want more women in the workplace. You asked a question to Tanner. I was like, and I wish you would have asked it to me. I actually went to like a women in tech at my job because I
Uh-huh.
said, well, actually, they said, hey, you want to join? I'm like, the last thing you guys need is more sweaty, fat guys like pushing you away from IT.
True.
And they said, no, it's good for you to come to support. So I went to a women in tech activity. It was me and one other guy and a room full of women. And it's like, it's great. Then again, maybe, I don't know. Like, you guys are really masculine, I think. And so you're.
Oh,
you can
thank
just-
you.
you're
No one's
like-
ever said that
you
before.
That is the first time I've ever heard anyone say that about Clayton.
But I think you like just like I don't know, like you just go up to other people and be like, so the Seahawks suck last night, like you can do that. Me,
Sure.
it's like I can go to a woman, I can make her laugh. Like guys,
Yeah.
it's like if this guy makes me laugh, then does that mean he's the alpha male? I think there's like that subconscious thing with them.
Well, I kind of get what you're saying a little bit. Like I generally like I like women, but like I generally am more comfortable talking to other men than women. Like as far as trying to network and stuff.
Sure.
So you just like hung out with more women generally in your life.
Well,
right?
I come from a family of 7. It's like
Uh-huh.
I had one sister, so
Okay.
and we don't really get along. My last family reunion, I flipped her off. And so, because she wanted to go eat at some like holier than thou vegan-esque place or whatever, and I wanted to go eat some meat like a man.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
and so when she got her way, she's like, "That's how we do it." And I just kind of flipped her off behind her back. And I
She's
was
trying
like,
to turn you
"Jeez."
gay.
Yeah. And so I don't know, like, but I don't know. I kind of feel safer with women. I don't know what that is,
Sure.
and they're funner to look at than other guys, man.
That
Like
is
I've been
true.
so being in the IT industry for 15 years, I've been around so many other guys,
Yeah.
and with girls, it's like you kind of feel safe. There's like a maternal thing where you can like say jokes and have this, and they're just, oh, you're so funny, Oz. Oh.
Yeah.
And with guys, it's just like, yeah, you gonna fix my computer? Yeah, okay then. Like I don't know. Like,
I'm kind of dude. I feel like for me, I'm way more comfortable making jokes with other men
yeah.
because I'm like, oh man, this lady's gonna, she's probably on her period or something. She's gonna be.
Yeah, women don't like comedy.
That's right. I feel the safest to try my jokes with women about comedy. But then again, I was in the kitchen at my like in the big cafeteria, and I was talking to this one woman, and she has a daughter that's around my same age, and I'm like, did you watch that movie? Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret yet? And she's like, no, not yet. It's like, that's all my daughter, like, that next stage of life, that's all she wants to talk about. And I started doing some of my bits to her about it. I think the whole time she really wanted to go. She's like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's really good time. It's like, oh, let me tell you this other thing about what's going on with her. And so like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, like it's fun. Like women can be kind of make it more fun, I guess. But
true.
then again, I always have to watch out because then people are like, oh, my friends like, even if I just go talk to the girl, they're like, oh, Oz is going and flirting with that girl. And I'm like, no, I'm just talking. We're not flirting. We're just talking. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, the next segment here, it's called Clayton Surprise. Clayton is going to ask you 2 questions that I am not aware of. He has not ran them by me. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you are.
So it's actually for you. It's gonna be 3.5 questions.
So it's tailored specifically for us.
Yes.
This is great, man. Lay it on.
Okay. So the first one, if you could have prevented the Holocaust, all 6 million plus people from dying
Sure.
by doing a NICMO with Hitler, would you do it?
Oh, I totally forgot Hitler's. That's right, Hitler's. I forgot Tanner's questions that it was all about gay stuff. So sorry, gay stuff. I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
so,
It doesn't make you gay. You'd be saving millions of
It
people's
would
lives.
make you gay.
And you
but
don't-
you
you don't
get
have
to
to-
save lives.
And you don't have to touch his
You
dick
don't get
or
to go,
nothing.
but you still don't get to go to heaven.
oh, I don't.
But those
get to
6 million get to go, not hell.
Oh yeah,
So-
like Oshka Schindler, basically, like where you slept with a lot of women and then saved a lot of lives.
Yeah, but you'd be making out with a man instead of women.
Sure, yeah, sure. What if that would save 6 million people? Sure, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because at the
You
end,
would make out with Hitler.
at the end, listen, at the end, when Jesus is like, hey, so what did you do for your fellow man? It's like, well, I took one for the team, and 6 million people are still alive because I had to make
And
out
then
with a
when-
mustache.
And then when God is like, men who make out with men go to hell.
And I'm like, well, all right. I'll just be like, all right, whatever.
That is honorable. That is
That
noble.
is honorable that you'd
noble.
be willing to go to hell to save 6 million people.
Hey, man. Hey.
Not just people, Jews.
Well, jeez Louise. So I don't know if you know this, but I actually descend on my dad's side. I descend from German Jews. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah. So for whatever reason, being good with money was lost along the way, so that didn't stay with me. But
Yeah, me too.
so yeah, I mean, I have full respect for the yeah.
All right, so this will cleanse your palate a little bit. Taylor Swift, Cutie Patootie, or Plain Jane?
Plain Jane.
Plain Jane, why
I think
is that?
I think her feet are too big.
Yeah,
I
Her
think so.
feet.
Yeah, yeah. If a girl's feet is way too big, it can be kind of a turn off. I mean, there's this
You're a
one
foot
girl,
guy.
kind of, yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, if okay, there's this one girl I was dating. She was like a model, musician. She's great, and you know, and her like, and so yeah. I don't want to really say more than that. Really nice and really cool one, but it might be a little too big.
so her feet are too big.
Yeah, just a little, maybe you know,
What is her
okay.
shoe size?
10.
Oh, that is pretty big for a broad.
Yeah, I think a 10 in female is an 8 in male. I think, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. But it's still, it's like it's a
Yeah,
shallow
she
thing.
might as well be wearing clown shoes.
No, I think it's just me being shallow, and it's like it's this because you know. But yeah, it's when I first met my wife, you know, I was looking at her legs, and she's like, I was like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "I'm from Brazilian Sea," and she showed me. I was like, "Oh, smooth, tan, sexy legs," and she goes, "No, my flip flops have the little tiny Brazilian flag on them, the Havaianas." But I was looking at her legs the whole time, and my mouth was watering. I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Dude, I learned something new about you, man. You're really, really into feet.
No,
Hell
I'm
yeah,
not
brother.
really.
Hell
into-
yeah, brother.
Oh, just a
That's
little
gross.
into feet.
No.
Okay.
I just said it. It kind of it's kind of important.
I
mean,
get
it's
it, man.
Just like the whole aesthetic, you know what I mean? It's like, what if you're dating someone and they're, you know, one boob's way bigger than the other?
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard because then the girls are just gonna be walking in circles the whole day. It's
For
like,
sure. Okay, so this is the final question, and it's a two-part question.
All right.
On December 26, 1996, John Benet Ramsey's lifeless goddamn,
Holy crap, man!
her lifeless body was found in her parents' basement.
Right.
So my question is, why did you kill her, and where did you put her panties?
Jeez Louise. Have you heard David Spade's bit about John Benet Ramsey?
No.
It's actually Anthony Jeselnik's favorite joke of all time, and it's just like he just says John Benet Ramsey's not that hot without makeup. You know, she's kind of pretty, but she's not a stunner. Like he actually said, and he's like, "That's my favorite joke of yours, David." He's like, "Oh, okay," but yeah, dude, I was like 15 at the time. No, maybe 16 at the time.
That's
Didn't
old
even-
enough to kill a
Didn't
woman.
even live in the area. I don't even know. I saw her in
She-
the tabloids though.
She lived in Colorado, just over the border. So
Yeah,
you could have
I've
gone there,
Never
man.
been to Colorado, except
Not
for
once.
the hospital. Hospital, airport. Never, except for the airport.
Interesting.
So,
You
yeah.
kind of changed up your
good-
story
yeah,
there for a
that's-
second.
Seems to be some inconsistencies.
My sister was born in Colorado. I've never been to Colorado other than the airport. Why do I want to say hospital? It's the weirdest thing. Dude, it's hot
And I
in
think
here.
he did.
Why is it so hot in here? That's not a thing of guilt. You guys did that on purpose, like like the Seinfeld episode. Like, oof,
That
oof.
was so much better
Stop.
than I thought it would. That's great. So Oz, you killed John Benet Ramsey. It's
No, I did
confirmed.
not kill anyone.
Well, you got to say it to the camera then, man.
I did not kill. Oh, sorry. I did not kill anyone.
I noticed you didn't
I
say
don't
her
know why I
name.
had to do a click at the end, like I'm like advertising like this. Like I did not kill a 10-year-old
Wink.
girl. Yeah, like yeah, murder. It's great.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna do some rapid fire workplace questions.
Sure.
that are gonna rate how
How-
solid of an employee you are.
You got it, buddy.
So I prefer to do things on my own rather than work with others. Definitely agree, slightly disagree, definitely disagree.
Slightly disagree because I mean I like working with others, but I like having my own space too.
Okay. I prefer doing things the same way. For instance, my morning routine, or trip to the supermarket?
Oh, trip to the supermarket, I think.
Okay, so like you prefer doing things the same way, for instance, your morning routine or your trip to the supermarket.
Yeah, so I'm saying
So
I
like,
don't.
would you agree, slightly agree?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because that's like, yeah, oh, I see what you're saying. Probably slightly disagree.
Okay. I find myself becoming strongly absorbed in something, even obsessional.
Oh, I strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
yeah.
Okay. I'm very sensitive to noise and will wear earplugs or cover my ears in certain situations.
Somewhat agree, not strongly, but somewhat agree.
Slightly.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not. I don't think I'm on the spectrum, but if someone screams really loud in my ear, I'll scream right back without even thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's loud sounds and stuff, but it's like, try not to get distracted. Headphones really help with stuff.
Okay. Sometimes people say I'm being rude, even though I think I'm being polite. Definitely agree, slightly disagree, definitely disagree.
Slightly disagree, because sometimes I'll say something and it comes across right. Like I won't say which comic it was, but I just said, and without thinking, I don't know, I just said, I could really imagine you getting bullied growing up. Like I can totally imagine that. And he's like, Oz, do you not even think before you say? He blew up at me. Like he was mad. Like it's like, do you not even think before you say anything? I was like, oh, sorry, man. I just feel for you. That's all. Like that's all I was trying to say. But yeah.
Okay. I find it easy to imagine what characters from a book might look like.
Yeah, strongly agree.
Okay. I find it easy to talk in groups of people.
Strongly agree.
I'm more interested in finding out about things than people.
Somewhat disagree.
I find numbers, dates, and strings of information fascinating.
Yeah, somewhat agree.
I prefer nonfiction books and films to fiction.
Strongly disagree. Actually, sorry, somewhat disagree, because I like a lot more fiction than nonfiction.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
I'm a nonfiction guy.
Yeah, I love
A good war movie.
Yeah, those are
That's
good,
what-
but I love a good.
Psychopath.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the new All Quiet on the Western Front?
No, I saw a
Dude.
lot of rewards it got though.
Really, I
And-
recommend it.
Okay, we'll check it out. It's all in a different language, so we'll have to get used to that. But I love a good fiction storytelling thing that's just like it gives a powerful message. I was showing my wife glad there's a scene in the movie Gravity the other day. And like the movie Gravity, there's that scene at the end when she's like, like I have a bad feeling. Like, man, like I get emotional about that. Like I'm like, honey, this is such a powerful thing. And she's like, why are you so emotional? Are you on your cycle? Like we're a little bit different.
Okay, well, we're halfway through these. Let's
Sorry.
nail these out. I find it upsetting if my daily routine is upset or changed.
Yeah, strong. I probably agree. Yeah, somewhat agree.
Okay. It's difficult for me to understand other people's facial expressions and body language.
Strongly disagree.
I don't have any problems making small talk with new people.
Strongly agree.
I do, man. It's a real problem.
You have
for
a hard
me.
time with that?
Oh yeah, dude.
I love people. I love you can learn anything from. You can learn like you can always learn something new from a complete stranger, and I love that.
Yeah,
And you can and like sometimes you always have some type of connection, like
It's true.
It's great.
Yeah. I notice very small changes in a person's appearance.
Disagree.
Slightly or definitely?
Definitely, probably definitely disagree. Sometimes when my wife gets back after being gone for a while, I'll just say, "Nice haircut." And she didn't get a haircut. I'm just taking a guess. No, I don't. I've never actually done, but I should, because it's like sometimes like, do you notice anything different about my hair? And it looks exactly the same. So,
Yeah.
but it's just a haircut.
Okay. I like collecting information about things I'm interested in.
Oh, strongly agree.
I like meeting new people.
Strongly agree.
People close to me say I talk about the same things repeatedly.
Somewhat agree.
I find it easy to work out what people are thinking or feeling just by looking at their facial expressions.
Somewhat disagree.
New social situations make me feel anxious.
Strongly disagree.
It's important to me to carefully plan any activities I'm going to.
Somewhat agree.
I find it hard to work out what people's intentions are.
Strongly, somewhat disagree.
I would find it really hard to play imaginary games with children.
Oh, strongly disagree.
I am a good diplomat and can help ease difficult social or work situations.
Strongly agree.
I'm often the last person to understand a joke.
Somewhat agree.
I like doing things spontaneously.
Somewhat agree.
If I'm interrupted doing something, I find it hard to get back to what I was doing before.
Strongly agree. For sure. That's ADHD.
Yeah, dude, me too,
right there.
man.
That's ADHD.
I notice patterns in all things all the time.
Strongly, somewhat disagree.
I have some very strong interest and get upset if I can't pursue them.
Somewhat agree.
I can tell if someone I am talking to is getting bored.
Strongly agree.
Okay. All right, good news.
What's that?
Based on your answers, you experience very few signs of autism. What do you have to say to the haters?
Suck it, Trebek. No, suck it, Michael. No, I don't know. It's no, yeah, thank you. I'm just really proud of this. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my agent. I mean, my wife, and yeah, I'm glad that my wife helped taught me a lot of these things. All my friends too helped me to not be autistic. So, not that it's a bad thing if you're there. So, but yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, now we'll wrap it up with your performance review based off of all of the questions you have answered.
Yeah.
Clayton and I are both going to guess if you've ever been fired from a job before.
Sure.
And we're going to give you a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'm going to guess as an employee, I'm going to say you're an 8 as an employee. You're very employable.
Thank you.
But I'm going to guess that you have been fired before.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a 10.
Thank you.
I think you have been fired before, but you did kill John Benet Ramsey, and I think that's fantastic.
Holy balls. Jeez Louise. Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So what's the truth? Have you been fired before?
I don't really know if it was like you're fired, but I did get laid off. I got laid off in the housing market, but I also got laid off at another job in 2011, and I already had another job lined up.
Yeah.
So thankfully, I knew it was coming, but I think that's it. And then I did have a guy tell me, I think if you better working someplace else. And that was a coupon book, like that you people would buy on. Sorry, not a coupon book. A 30-minute money making system people would buy on an infomercial. Very sleazy. I wasn't good enough to even work there at the time. So yeah, I would say I don't know if that's ever been the words ever been spoken. You're fired, but 3 different companies is like, yeah, we got to cut you.
Well, I think getting laid off doesn't really count.
Well, yeah, if the company is making cutbacks,
Yeah,
but if they just picked you
right.
based off performance, that would be fired.
Sure,
I would say.
sure. Yeah. Well, the 2008, he had to make one cut of one tech. There was like 8 of us in 2008, and I was the one to do it because my performance was just below someone else's. So I don't know if that counts. You're fired. We just watched Waterboy. Still stuck in my head.
Fun.
Yeah, man.
Well, thanks for doing this. This was a very fun episode.
Thank you for having me. This has
Yeah.
been great.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we learned a lot about you, man.
Do you want to
Yeah.
know where people can find me?
Oh yes,
yes.
absolutely. This is something I need to get better at. I'm still learning how to be a podcast host. Oz, where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Oz Morris Comedy on Instagram. And I try to host an open mic. I host an open mic every other Thursday at the Social in Provo, Utah. It's underground, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, and then coming soon will be a podcast, and just look for that.
Okay.
So,
And I
cool.
will include your Instagram in the description for
Thank
the
you.
episode.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be hosting this podcast very long, so you can follow me at Clayton
Aw.
Palmquist Comedy on all platforms.
Yeah.
Also, you can follow me on OzKillJohnBenetRamsey.com.
Yeah. And Clayton will be on periodically.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're fired.